Air Jordan 3 Animal Instinct. Now, full disclosure before we even get into the review, I am very much in love with animal print sneakers. Ever since I saw the first iteration of that Air Max 1 Atmos collaboration, I've been on that animal print sneaker train and never looked back. I am also very much into Air Jordan 3s, so much so that I managed to convince my wife to make them part of our maternity photo shoot. So you can kind of guess how this review is going to go, but I think it's still a good idea to take a closer look at what I feel, personally, will soon be one of the most iconic Air Jordan 3 colorways. At this point, we all know about the Air Jordan 3. Released in 1988, graced the feet of arguably the greatest basketball player ever. We know the story behind it. Air Jordan 2 caused that whole line of sneakers to be down in the dumps for no good reason, in my opinion, but we'll get to that another time. And then Nike brought in Tinker Hatfield to retool the sneakers and come up with something that could bring that line back from the brink of death. And he came up with the Air Jordan 3, with the key feature of it being the now iconic elephant print. So when you think about it, this particular shoe was built with animal print in mind. The elephant print has obviously been completely scrapped in favor of three different animal prints. What used to be leather is now a horsehair pattern. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's go with what we know first. The air bubble standard is still there. You've got your midsole in white. You've got your outsole, with a twist being the gum sole. I love gum sole. I feel it makes the bottom of your shoes that much more striking. It's not that common still for a lot of the sneakers that are being released around this time. You've got the well-known Jumpman branding on the back. The Air, it's not Nike Air, it's the Jumpman branding. And the heel cup is done, again, in that gum sole color. And that gum color that matches the bottom of the shoe. It's a really, really nice touch. The stitching could have been black, could have been white. What Nike have done that I love is took the time to match the thread with the gum sole color. Now going back to the animal details, the whole thing is actually animal print, or at least animal details. What used to be leather is now this fine pony hair. Fake, obviously, or artificial, otherwise I probably wouldn't have gotten these. And then around the toe box and around the heel, or the ankle collar rather, you've got your leopard print. Around the eyelets on both sides, you've got tiger. And around the heel, you've got your zebra print. You've got touches of red all around the shoe at certain points in the shoe to add that additional pop in the red Jumpman and in the eyelets closer to the toe box. What I like about how they executed the animal print motif in this sneaker is how muted it is. Now this takes a lot of design cues from the Air Max 1 Atmos collaboration from, I believe, 2018, which was the second iteration of their animal pack design. But in that, the animal print was all over. This one creates a blank canvas, so to speak, using that black horsehair, and then adds touches little by little around the shoe, such that the animal print itself becomes an accent. And so it's not wild, it's not as wild, but I can definitely see how some people might not like that. The Air Jordan 3 is a higher cut than the Air Max 1, meaning that, in my opinion, it's less flexible, it's less versatile. You're not going to be able to wear it as much or to as many environments and situations as you could for low tops. For those of you who work office jobs, you probably know this, that there are a lot of really good basketball shoes out there, but given the context that you might be in the office, you've got an important meeting, basketball shoes and how high cut they are may not be the right shoe for that event. But if there was a low cut version of it, you might actually be able to rock that. These are a higher cut, which means that they might not be as versatile as the Air Max 1 version of animal print, but they're not as high cut as a Jordan 1. So you can still wear them to a good deal of places. The trade-off, in my opinion, is that higher cut sneakers have a higher ceiling for stylishness, if that makes sense. Low cut shoes tend to look good no matter what. You know, you wear a nice pair of skinny jeans or joggers. Shoot, some might even wear boot cut jeans, and chances are those low cut sneakers are still going to look pretty good. The stylishness floor on them is pretty good. But high tops, while they need a little bit more effort, it's a lot easier to mess up styling for high tops, but if you style them just right, your stylishness is going to go off the charts. So you've got the best of all those worlds in this sneaker. You've got your animal print, your striking, make an impact type of appearance. You've got your non-committal high top to still be able to look good if you style it right, but be able to wear it to more places than you would a conventional high top. And because of how it looks, while you will probably most of the time make this the centerpiece of your outfit, you still got ultimately that choice to rock this with other designs, from your shirt to your pants to your socks. Now, this is one of those situations where the hype really took a dive fairly quickly. On social media, in the weeks up to release, Instagram, Facebook, sneaker news sites, you could tell that while the design itself was polarizing, sneakerheads in general could not wait to get their hands on a pair of these sneakers. In the weeks leading up to release on the resale market, sites like StockX and GOAT, pairs of these, early pairs, were fetching up to $1,000. Well, at least the asks were. If I'm not mistaken, some pairs were sold close to that price. A couple weeks before release, that price went down to about $500 pop, and then a few days before release, around $300 to $400, and then on the day of release, once people copped their pairs, those prices went down to around $250, ultimately netting them under what they paid for. Now, that could be attributed to a number of things. The most prominent factor is probably the fact that it's December and a lot of really good pairs and more hyped up pairs are coming out around this time. You've got the Alien re-release, the Yeezy 380 Alien re-release. You've got the 700 V3 coming out. You've got those new Off-Whites, for, just to name a few other pairs. And so this kind of got relegated to the back burner. So ultimately, there's no hype on them at this point, now that they seem to, be over and done with. Their window for hype is gone. They're pretty much essentially forgotten now in the really, really fast-paced world of sneaker culture. Couple that with the fact that a lot of people got W's on sneakers and on raffle websites. Yeah, hype for this is pretty much a non-factor, but does that mean they're not deserving of hype? Not necessarily. I think in a couple years, once people see an on-foot shot of these, hype is going to go back up again, and people are going to say, I wish I got those. Now as for fit, the Air Jordan 3 has been discussed multiple times over the years. It's a design that's 31 years old right now to be exact. And so anything that can be said about it has been said. It's more of a lifestyle sneaker at this point, in my opinion. There is that Air technology in there, but given the new advances in sneaker comfort, it's really nothing to write home about. It's still something you could walk on for long periods of time. And generally the feeling of your foot inside of the shoe is pretty comfortable. Size-wise, Air Jordan 3s are true to size, so whatever your size is in an Air Max, feel free to grab that. Whatever your size is in a Yeezy 350, go a half size down, and that'll be your size in these. Let's talk value. At retail, these are $225 US. If you live in a place that charges a high sales tax, such as myself in the San Francisco Bay Area, that's going to run you about $240 out the door. Is it worth it? I'd say yes, for two things. If you love the design and are confident you can rock this a lot, or if you're into Air Jordan 3s and collect them and have an interest in absolutely every design. It's a polarizing design like I originally talked about. And so going by the concept that I subscribe to a lot, which is wears per dollar, you have to be able to wear this a lot and make it, in my opinion, the center of most of the outfits that you wear it with. If you can commit to that, then you're going to be wearing this a lot, and then you're going to be making the most out of that purchase. If it was a $200 shoe, or better yet, under $200, $180, $190, I'd say it's a definite cop. But at $225, it's going to be a hard sell for most people who have just a passing interest in sneakers. I think, in my opinion, there's a lot more pairs out there that are worth it, that you can wear more at that price range. So what is the verdict? As I mentioned in the intro, you probably already know how this review went by the fact that I love animal print sneakers and I love Jordan 3s. Overall, I'd give this out of 10 a solid 8. It's a striking release. It plays off a constant thread that runs through the story of a lot of Nike sneakers, that animal print theme. And that animal print theme extends beyond those Atmos collabs that we had been talking about earlier. It's nice to see that motif in a popular sneaker. It's a shame that they haven't yet done something like this for a Jordan 1, arguably the most popular Jordan. At least not that I know of. But then again, this is a logical step forward for the Jordan 3, which started out with the elephant print. And it's a bold step forward. Yes, the design was pretty much lifted from the Air Max 1 Atmos collaboration, the second version of it, but that was good. Why mess with something that already works? What takes it down a couple notches from the score is the price. $225, like I mentioned, that's a hard sell. But for me, in my personal opinion, with my interests in sneakers, I had to get these. So much so that when I first heard about them, I started saving up because I knew that if I couldn't cop them at retail, I'd definitely get them via the resale market. And if you have the same interests and this pair strikes you in just the right way, I say go for it.